People class, welcome to today's review of my two versions of Space Knight Venom, my one Mania. This one is the Build-A-Figure. I'll get into the differences, which really aren't that much, and this is the one in the pack. So firstly, I'm gonna go over the Space Knight Venoms because they really are the same figure, but this will definitely tell you how time affects these two. And sadly, it is in the way that he needs to be maintained the most. And to be frank with you, the only difference is the painting. For some reason, as you can see on the Space Knight Venom in the pack, his white paint has more of a blue, strong matte finish, while the Build-A-Figure has just a white finish. I mean, there's no real extra effort put into it, in a way a lot of paint chipping, but the other thing with every single toy, every single Marvel Legends, everything that you will get in hand, unless you paint it by yourself, there are paint mistakes, as you can see up there. Kind of bleeds past the line, and over here it goes under the line, so there's no real perfect way to get a perfect Space Knight Venom unless you painted it yourself, especially if you painted the rib sections or just gave them a little bit of a gray wash. I feel like they could stand out a whole lot more than they are now. But before we get too deep into them, let's take a quick look at Mania. So the main sucky part about Mania for me is that she does have a couple of loose joints. I mean, they're not world ending, and of course if I just use joint tightener that and keep on telling you guys about it, that won't be a problem, especially when I move it beyond that. I mean, it's a very strong joint, so that's just my figure. Be aware of that. Also, these are actually sharp, so you know when you press on these, if they're silver, if they're spikes, especially the finger, well, not as much the fingertips, but they are pointy, they are sharp, they do actually serve a purpose instead of just being the typical, oh, child friendly kind of toys. No, this thing actually, I don't think it'll make you bleed, but it can hurt. And then with the waist belt, it is very loose, so of course if you take her apart, the maybe fits this, which I'll get into later with the articulation. Do know that it is a little bit easier to lose her, but I do have to say that with her female build, it is amazing. Is it as good as Silk? No. Is it better than Spider-Man? Yeah, but it doesn't have the butterfly joints, and again, because it's on the female body, it is small and very petite, so you can get a lot more articulation, a lot more range of movement with it because of her small frame. And for what they come with, it's not a lot. I mean, the way that I see it is that this is a Space Knight Venom with accessories, and one of the amazing accessories is Mania, so it's like a give or take, but I mean, they're not bad accessories. The head, as you can see, has a little bit of paint scraping, so it's like, it's not that big a deal. To me, I can paint over it easily, but for the rest of the detail on here, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It's amazing. It is a two-pack, so of course there comes a little more detail maybe from what I'm seeing in some of these Marvel kits, so it still looks amazing. First tendril that we get is this one, and I have to say that if you want longevity on your shelf with him wearing these, I only suggest you put this one on because it is very light and manageable, and it doesn't really seem to get in the way like this one does. As you can see, it is massive. It is so massive that they had to gut out the inside just so that this thing isn't 5 pounds on its own. I know the points aren't sharp, they are rounded, but they're still there, and especially they go really well to the whole thing of the tendrils, as to where they aren't just obvious, oh look, it's a hook, that's what we're supposed to pull on. No, it's like, if you weren't really paying attention, you'd be like, ooh, maybe I can fit a finger through there or something. I mean, that's just how I see it, but it's still nice. Of course, there's a little bit of dry brushing, a little bit of gray, a little something. It could have looked better, but you know, as I always say, since it's mass manufactured, I'm fine with it. And for size comparisons, there is no way that my Gamerverse Venom is ever going to be outshone by any figure that I have, unless it's 1/6 scale figure. So of course Mania is a little bit shorter than Miles, Space Knight Venom is taller than both of them, but the Venom is so dang big that I had to zoom out just to get his freaking head into frame. Getting into articulation, we're gonna go over Mania first because she doesn't come with anything other than her pretty little myself. So going down, you have the amazing Spider-Man ball joint and hinge and swivel, so you can look up oh my gosh, dude, amazingly high, amazingly low, to where she can actually look down. Not a problem there. You get, I think, enough head tilt for me. The shoulders go up amazingly. This one is a little bit more loose than the other one, but it's not that big a problem to me. A ratcheted swivel, which means that she can hold weight, which, you know, she doesn't have anything, but for longevity, I love it. Bicep swivel, nice and tight. The reason why it's tight is more because of the sculpt. Of course, when you bring triceps around the shoulder, they're gonna rub, so it is a little bit tight, which only means that's good. The elbow on mine are very, very tight. That is good. That is bad to some other people. Just work with it. I don't recommend you to heat it up, because once you heat it up, it can never be this strong again, unfortunately. But with the two joints, you can get a perfect hand to shoulder without a problem. And then for the wrist, it is a very flexible plastic, and she can go down very easily, go up and then rotate without a problem. And then this does swivel. It's more of an accessory, but just in case you like wanted to push it up to make sure it doesn't move, you can. Then same with the other arm, same thing, but they do have two different hands, which I say are beautiful. The worst part about this figure, there is pretty much nothing for the chest. I mean, you can rotate it, that's it. Again, that's another thing that makes me think or say that she's just an accessory to Space Knight Venom. Going up, she can do pretty much straight, which I mean should be common for all Spider-Man, cough cough, but unfortunately not all of them are able to do that. An amazing single joint bend that you can get more than 90. As I was saying before, this one is a little bit loose on mine, so, but then double jointed bend, not a problem in the slightest. And she also does have a hip swivel, a very nice and tight hip swivel. Going out, she can't do the splits, but it is good enough for me. Going back, she can't because of her butt. And then the ankle, so because they are boots, she does have normal articulation there, but you do gotta remember that these are boots, so they take up a little bit more space, but they are ratcheted, going back, ratchet, going forward. Of course, you can turn them any which way you want, and they are ratcheted this way too. So for a small figure, she will last you a very, very long time, which I like. For Space Knight Venom, I'm firstly gonna go over the guy in the box, because the other one, he is showing his age. So this one, I, especially with Mania, unless I get another female Spider-Man, I'm not gonna take her out. And then with this guy, I'm just gonna leave the other guy out. So I'm going to try to keep this guy as pristine as possible. Head going up, can't go up that much, typical Venom trait. Going down, he can chin the chest, which is beautiful. Head rotation, if you move around the joint, he can do 360 no problem, but of course in some positions he can't, so take with that what you will. He has a little bit of tilt with side to side, with shoulders going up. If you pull down on this joint a little bit, you can get 90 without a problem. Bicep swivel, as I say with every figure, you have to think about the sculpting and the muscle mass, so of course the tightness is when it's rubbing around the sculpting, so be careful if you painted it. Single jointed tight ratcheted arm, and also this guy's bicep is a little bit loose. Not the end of the world, especially because I'm going to keep him in the box, but just do be aware. Beautiful ratchets, as you heard. And then the wrist, you can't really go back because of this added on piece, but as far back as, I mean, can look like he's grabbing something pretty much, and then he can curl his hand in without a problem. Same range of motion on the other hand. And then the thing that kind of sucks is that you only get grabbing hands, which is, I've been saying that a lot lately, but I think you can understand why. The crunch, amazing. There should be ratchet, there it goes. So this one's weird. It feels like you should be able to go more, but if you go more, you're gonna break the plastic inside. And then there's one ratchet right there, and then you can get him to his last ab. So but he doesn't stay, which it does suck. It's not the best. Oh, I forgot. Did I show that he can do full 360? I don't know and I don't care. Anyways, he can do a full 360 at the torso as well. For him going up, it's kind of weird. The joint moves to the side. So don't think that, oh wow, this is all he can get. No, just work with it. Go out and then he can get just under 90. Not really a problem to me. Knee bend, he has ratcheted dual joints and they are very, very strong, but of course if you play with them just like plastic, it degrades. Then the second one is even tighter. Oh my gosh, there we go. And then with the double knee joints, amazing. Calf to back of thigh without a problem. And then with the foot, the foot is one of the best parts. Amazing toe movement all the way down, all the way up, and then he can get some amazing side to side ankle rotation without a problem. So I do have to say that this dude definitely, from what I've heard, this is an older body, so it's not the best, and it's not. I mean, even some new figures are coming out with double joints, which I wish I was on this guy, but This is gonna be real quick. This is what I mean by the old figure. It still works, it's still strong, but it's floppy. So just be advised, the longer you have him, the more he's gonna do this. And for what he looks like with his spare head, I have to say it's really nice. I mean, of course, I'm kind of iffy on it. Of course, like I said before, I like very pointy faces. This one just smushes it in, but I get the concept. And again, we get a second head that a lot of figures don't give, unless it's some specific one. But I mean, I'm cool with it. And to put on the tendrils is very easy. All you do is be careful not to collapse the parts of where it is actually supposed to come over. So after it goes over the wrist, it just falls back into place, and line up the two knuckles on the right side of the smaller tendril, and then it's on there pretty tight. Of course, my guy's shoulder is a little bit loose, so don't mind that, but he can rotate his wrists. You can get some really fluid poses with this, and of course you can swing it around a little bit with the wrist. You can swing on top of the wrist, so there's a lot of playable action with this. Now on the other side, I mean literally the other side, this thing is wider than him. So do know that, do not think leaving this on long term is going to be healthy for this dude. It is not. It is heavy. And look at that. It is already drooping the shoulder. So please do not leave this guy on the shelf with this for too long. Think, oh, he'll be fine. You leave him up there with this for like a day or so, and it is definitely going to cause damage to the figure. But just like the other one, he can get a wide range of movement with it on, so it's not really hindering. It's just on. When you put it on the hand, it's more just to secure it, so it's still pretty nice. So would I recommend this? Yes, I would highly recommend a Space Knight figure with an awesome accessory of Mania, and with another head and two more tendril effect parts. I say that yes, it is a little bit expensive, but it's not as expensive as this 2-pack is. So I would say get it if you can, get it if you want, or if you really want to, just get the Build-A-Figure, whether you get him with the toy, with the rest of the line, or you just get him as is. I mean, I saw him online for 19 bucks, but somebody got him, hint hint. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. God bless and peace.